the fast-evolving world of technology, even small shifts can create ripples that eventually turn into massive waves. And when a titan like NVIDIA, the global leader in graphics and AI processing hardware, is faced with a direct challenge from a nation as resourceful and ambitious as China, the consequences are bound to be seismic. But what does this battle mean for gamers, AI researchers, and companies relying heavily on GPS? More importantly, how might it reshape the future of the global tech landscape? These are the questions that hang in the air as we witness what could be one of the most significant turning points in the industry. NVIDIA's dominance, how it became a giant. To understand the gravity of the situation, we first need to grasp why NVIDIA holds such a commanding position in the tech world. Known for its cutting-edge technology, NVIDIA has gone from being a supplier of graphics cards for gamers to a cornerstone of industries, ranging from artificial intelligence and robotics to autonomous vehicles and financial analytics. NVIDIA's GPS power everything from immersive gaming experiences to machine learning algorithms, enabling breakthroughs in healthcare, cloud computing, and content creation. But NVIDIA's success isn't just about hardware. Over the years, the company has built robust ecosystems that developers and companies depend on for their innovations. Its CUDA platform, for instance, has become the go-to tool for developers building AI and machine learning applications, making NVIDIA indispensable in both software and hardware realms. For the longest time, NVIDIA enjoyed an unchallenged reign in the GPU market. With little significant competition in sight, it became the gold standard for performance, innovation, and reliability. But as history has shown, sitting at the top often invites challengers, and NVIDIA's dominance has not gone unnoticed. Enter China, a nation with ambitions not only to compete, but to potentially dethrone the GPU giant. China's tech ambitions. China has long been a technological powerhouse in its own right. Its influence on global manufacturing, its ability to scale rapidly, and its investments in cutting-edge research have made it a formidable player in the global tech scene. However, despite its advancements, China has historically relied on imports for critical technologies, including semiconductors and GPS dependence. That has left the nation vulnerable to geopolitical tensions. Recognizing this vulnerability, China has made bold moves to achieve tech independence. Over the past decade, it has doubled down on its semiconductor industry, pouring billions into research and development while nurturing domestic champions like Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation (SMIC). These efforts aim to close the technology gap with Western firms like NVIDIA, and recent geopolitical tensions have only accelerated this push. Geopolitical tensions, the catalyst for change. The strained trade relations between China and tech-heavy nations like the United States have added fuel to the fire. U.S. policies restricting the export of advanced chips and technologies to China have forced the nation to pivot towards self-reliance. These sanctions, aimed at curbing China's advancements in artificial intelligence and other critical areas, have had the unintended consequence of making China more determined than ever to develop its own semiconductor capabilities. Rather than taking these restrictions lying down, China has responded with calculated countermeasures that could directly impact NVIDIA's dominance, from leveraging its control over rare earth materials to accelerating the development of homegrown alternatives to NVIDIA's GPS. China is playing the long game and it's playing to win. China's strategic moves against NVIDIA. Let's take a closer look at the specific actions China has undertaken that pose a direct threat to NVIDIA. Export controls on rare materials. China controls a significant portion of the world's supply of rare earth elements, including gallium and germanium, which are essential for manufacturing advanced semiconductors and GPS. Recently, China imposed export controls on these materials, a move widely seen as a countermeasure against U.S. sanctions. These restrictions could create bottlenecks in NVIDIA's supply chain, potentially delaying product launches and driving up production costs. Massive investments in domestic chip manufacturing. China has ramped up its investments in domestic chip manufacturing, aiming to produce homegrown alternatives to NVIDIA's GPS. Government-backed companies like SMIC are making significant strides in narrowing the technology gap. While these chips may not yet rival NVIDIA in terms of performance, the progress is noteworthy and concerning for the GPU giant. Targeting emerging markets, China is also strengthening its foothold in developing markets by offering affordable tech solutions. by providing cost-effective alternatives to NVIDIA's high-performance GPS. China is capturing market share in regions like Asia, Africa, and South America, where budget constraints often dictate purchasing decisions. The ripple effect on NVIDIA and the tech world. So, what happens if China's strategy succeeds? The implications for NVIDIA and the broader tech industry are profound. 1. Supply chain disruptions via reliance on rare earth materials controlled by China makes it vulnerable to export restrictions. If these materials become harder to obtain, NVIDIA may need to find alternative sources, which could increase costs and disrupt production schedules. This would have a cascading effect on the availability and pricing of NVIDIA's products, impacting everyone from gamers to AI developers. 2. Increased competition. China's focus on developing domestic semiconductor capabilities presents a direct challenge to NVIDIA's dominance. If successful, China's strategy could create a new era of competition, innovation, and geopolitical complexity. As we stand at this crossroads, one thing is clear: the tech world is entering a new chapter, one where the balance of power is more contested than ever. What do you think? Can NVIDIA outmaneuver China? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a seismic shift in the industry? This would directly impact gamers, content creators, and companies that rely on NVIDIA's hardware for AI and other applications. 4. Threat to long-term growth. Perhaps the most significant consequence for NVIDIA is the potential stunting of its long-term growth. To counter the challenges posed by China, NVIDIA may need to divert resources from innovation to defensive strategies, such as securing supply chains or reducing costs. This could slow down the company's leadership in tech advancements, allowing competitors like AMD and Intel to gain ground. Broader implications for the tech ecosystem. The impact of China's moves isn't limited to NVIDIA. It could reshape the entire tech ecosystem in several ways. Shift in industry dynamics. If NVIDIA loses its dominance, competitors like AMD and Intel could step in to fill the void. This would spark a new era of competition in the GPU market, potentially leading to more innovation, but also more market fragmentation. Disruption for other companies that rely on NVIDIA's hardware, such as cloud computing providers and automotive firms, could face delays and increased costs due to supply chain disruptions. This would ripple out to consumers, who might see slower service delivery or higher prices. A fragmented tech landscape. China's push for tech independence could lead to a fragmented global tech landscape, where Chinese-made chips dominate some regions while Western products dominate others. This bifurcation could make it harder for companies to operate globally and stifle the free flow of technological innovation. NVIDIA's countermeasure RESVID isn't sitting idle in the face of these challenges. The company is taking proactive steps to mitigate the risks posed by China's actions. Securing alternative supply chains. NVIDIA is exploring partnerships with countries outside of geopolitical flashpoints to reduce its dependence on materials controlled by China, doubling down on innovation rather than competing on price. NVIDIA is focusing on maintaining its technological edge by ensuring its GPS remain the industry gold standard. The company hopes to retain its appeal even at a premium price point. Collaborating with global tech leaders, NVIDIA is also forming alliances with other tech giants to pool resources and counter the rise of Chinese alternatives. These partnerships could help the company offset some of the challenges it faces. The bigger picture, a turning point in tech. Does this mark the end of NVIDIA as we know it? The answer is far from straightforward. While China's actions pose significant challenges, NVIDIA is a resilient company with the resources and expertise to adapt. However, this moment underscores a broader shift in the tech world, one where no company, no matter how dominant, is immune to disruption. The rise of China's semiconductor industry represents not just a challenge to NVIDIA, but a rebalancing of power in the global tech landscape. If successful, China's strategy could create a new era of competition, innovation, and geopolitical complexity. As we stand at this crossroads, one thing is clear: the tech world is entering a new chapter, one where the balance of power is more contested than ever. What do you think? Can NVIDIA outmaneuver China? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a seismic shift in the industry?